Snowmen at Night. Lesson 2. Playing with value in shading. By BonjourBijou. Our learning goals are to use the art inspired from the kids' book Snowmen at Night and learn how to use chalk pastels while incorporating the value scale and shading techniques to create artwork. You'll need construction paper, dark blue, purple, or black, chalk pastel, and a tissue. Let's begin with step 1. So we'll start off with drawing 3 circles to create your snowman. We'll start off with the head, and then with the stomach, and then a circle larger than the others for the lower body. We'll make sure also to shade in these circles. Step 2. We'll make sure to get a brown chalk pastel, and we're going to begin by drawing out a tree. We'll use contour lines, and we'll start off with the trunk of the tree, and then we can add some branches. While adding in your branches and the contour lines, make sure that they're not straight lines, that they're a little bit squiggly. No tree is perfect, and it will look more authentic. Once you drew out the contour lines of your tree, let's start shading it in. You'll notice that while I'm working on different aspects of my drawing, my hand might rub against different parts of the art that I created. So quick tip is place a paper over something that you don't want to be smudged. Step 3, create a light source. So we'll use the white chalk pastel, and between the tree and the snowman we'll create a circle, and we'll shade it in using a circular motion, and that will become our light source. So now for this light source, we'll use some yellow chalk pastel, and we might put a little bit around the contour of it. And it's a great idea to use a tissue to blend in the yellow. You can also use your finger, but when we do use our fingers, they get kind of dirty. So it's up to you. You can use your finger or a tissue in order to blend in the colors. Step 4. It's now time to draw out our landscape. We're gonna add some squiggly lines. Maybe there's kind of like a mountain or a slope behind. Step number 5, we'll shade in our landscape, but this time we're gonna use the flat side of our chalk. And the reason why we do this is that we'll cover more surface area quicker, and it will look a little bit more uniform. As we continue to shade in our landscape, I would like to remind you about the pressure technique we learned in lesson 1. So pressure can be used to create value. And for the background, we're gonna actually try not to put too much pressure because we want to have a lighter value in the background. And in comparison, the snowman, we can actually press harder, put more pressure because we want it to pop out more from the drawing. So step number 6, we're going to add yellow to create a highlight on your snowman from its light source. So the light source is the moon, and it's going to be hitting our snowman. So we will use some yellow just to create that highlight where the strongest point of light shows, and then on its belly as well, and on also the lower sphere. Make sure you don't forget that you actually have to blend in, so you can use your finger to blend in that yellow, or you can use a tissue as well. Step number 7. We're going to add black or gray to create a shadow on the opposite side of your light source. So I'm using gray, and I'm just going to contour around the right side of each of these spheres. just a little bit, and I will make sure to blend it in using my fingers or some tissue. Okay, let's get a little crazy here and get some blue, and let's add some blue next to that gray shadow that you created. This will allow the circle to become a sphere and nice and round. And if you looked at in the book, there's actually some pink as well in a lot of the snowmen. So we'll put a little bit of pink, and don't forget to use your finger or a tissue to blend in those colors. Step number 8. We're going to add a light brown tone to create a highlight on the tree. So the moon is our light source, and with this light brown color, we are going to show where the highlights are on the tree. Remember that our highlights are our strongest point of light, and that's where the light source, the moon, hits the tree. Once again, don't forget to blend in the colors with your finger or a tissue. Step number 9, use black chalk to create shadows on your tree, and this will be on the opposite side of your light source. Once you're done, don't forget to blend in that shadow with your finger or with a tissue. Now I'm going to use a darker brown color, and I'm going to kind of shade in the middle. And by doing this, this will help create that illusion, the black, the darker brown, and the lighter brown. It creates the illusion of depth and 3-dimension. So step number 10, we're going to add details to your snowman, your snow woman, or maybe it's your snow kid. I'm going to add here a top hat, a black one. So I'm going to draw out the contour lines, and then I'll start shading it in. So don't forget that we need to add some value to our top hat. So we're going to add some gray to the left tip of that top hat, because that's where the light source is hitting it and creating that highlight. Next, I'm going to go in with the white and really mark the strongest point of where that light is hitting that top hat, and maybe right on the rim as well. And I'll blend it in with my finger. Take your time when you're drawing out these details. Don't rush the process. Have fun with it. If you don't want to do a top hat, you can do a toque, a bandana, whatever you would like. Use your imagination. Next, I'm adding in my carrot nose with an orange pastel. Next, I'll add with black chalk the eyes as well as the mouth. And now let's add a scarf. Should we do pink, or maybe let's do a red scarf. Okay, once you've drawn out your scarf, don't forget to use white for your highlights, and for your shadow, add some gray or black. Don't forget to add some buttons as well on your snowman. Step number 11, don't forget to add some branches for arms. Make sure they're a little squiggly, no branches perfectly straight, and add your highlights to them. So let's go back and work on our tree. We're gonna add some snow. But first, step number 12. While working on the tree, let's place a piece of paper over your snowman in order not to smudge it with your hands. Step number 13, add snow onto the branches of your tree. Don't forget to add yellow highlights and dark blue shadows as well. Step number 14, we're going to add a cast shadow to your snowman. And remember that the cast shadow is the darkest shade found on your drawing, and it's on the opposite side of your light source. So we'll create kind of an oval shape that represents the bottom part of your snowman, and then another oval shape that represents the stomach, and if you have room, you could create a third one for the head. Don't forget to add your reflective light. This is the lighter shade that separates the darkness of the shadow from the darkness of the cast shadow. Finally, step 15. Let's add some snowflakes. And voila! So to sum up, we used value, which is the lightness and darkness of colors, and shading techniques to transform this 2D drawing to a 3D drawing. If you want to challenge yourself some more, here are 3 art extensions. Number 1, you can add details to your artwork. Like maybe you want to add a broom or some pine trees. Number 2, try adding a cast shadow to your tree. And number 3, can you try and create more depth in your landscape by adding more highlights and shadows to your snow? For the creative writing and independent worksheets that accompany this lesson, and other educational resources by BonjourBijou, don't forget to click on the link below. Merci!